Welcome back. You're still watching Wake Up Nigeria. And right about now, as we do on Wednesdays, we have relationship conversations. And today with me is Toju Oluwatoyinbo, a speaker who's uniquely recognized for the particular way she talks about her relationships. Today, she'll be discussing marriage milestones, right? The 5-year mark, what it means, and where it could go right or wrong. Welcome to Wake Up Nigeria.
Thank you. Good
morning.
morning.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
So I was telling you earlier that I follow you on Instagram, and I would say your skin is even clearer in person.
Thank you. I would say same for you as well. You look really good.
Thank you.
It's
Thank
the
you.
black and black for me.
Oh, thank you. So we're talking about the milestones of marriages, right? The 5-year mark. So I know I've heard different things, and of course you read different marriage books.
Yeah.
People talk about, okay, fine, some people say, okay, fine, if you make it past 1 year, some say 2 years, some say 3, some say 5 years. So now what exactly are we talking about when we talk about the 5-year mark and what can go right and what can go wrong?
Right. So the truth is, at any point in marriage, just like with anything in life, with your career, with your children, with your spiritual growth, there will be hiccups. Things can go wrong. But today we're talking about the 5-year mark.
Yeah.
And a lot of statistics have shown really that just before the 5th year, at the end of the 4th year, that rot sets in. There's something apparently called the 5-year itch.
Okay.
Where you just feel like, I am tired. What is going on? Yeah, and there's so many reasons that can cause that in between.
Okay, but before we get into the reasons, right? I thought it was the other way around, because I literally speak to friends that are married, and some of them tell me, see, you know what, the first 2 years are the toughest. If you can go through those 2 years, you are good. You get. Some people feel it gets easier after 2 years. So now you're talking about the 5-year, where you feel. So is it that okay? If you make it to the 5-year year, it's easier to cope past that, or is it easier to break at that point?
Well, two things. Like I said earlier, things come in waves, right? True. So there's that 1st year mark where everything is new and you're trying to figure out, you haven't really lived with this person, you haven't gone to toilet with this person before, you haven't really met the person's entire family in different settings. So it's the newness of all of that.
Yes.
And then there comes the 5-year mark, and there are differences. You're realizing now we have children. Now we have more things to do. True. Now your career has grown. True. At the point you're 5 years, the truth is you are not married to the same person that you married in year 1.
Hey.
I'm no longer that single girl. I'm now a mother of 2. I'm no longer just an intern. I'm now HR manager.
Oh, no.
So there are different capacities in my life now that you have to grow into and love me into and accommodate me into and all of that.
Okay.
And so it can almost be breaking point trying to relearn and relove this person in a way that is satisfying. And so it can be very frustrating. So if you don't go past it, you will break. But once you go past it, then it's easier, and then you just wait for the next tide.
You just wait for the next tide. Okay, now, is it possible to give us like tips on managing it? So I guess this is where we talk about what can go right if we manage it well. So how can we manage that period well?
I think just like with so many other things in life, if you're not intentional, so if you don't tend to your garden, weeds will grow. True. So weeds they're naturally occurring in life. There's nothing you can do about weeds growing. They have a right to grow, if you will. So you have to be very intentional. Okay. I usually like to say that you deal with facts and not emotions. Okay. Because when troubles stir up, your emotions are stirred up. Definitely. Why are you talking to me like this? You don't understand me. You are not sympathetic. You're not empathizing. Why? Is it because I'm a woman? I'm the man. It's emotions all over the place. True, but like we say, your emotions are good indicators, but they're not good drivers. True. So you need to strap them in the passenger seat and take the wheel. So be intentional about the conversations. Okay. Deal with what exactly is going wrong. Don't attack the person, but deal with the situation and call it for what it is. Right? If you need third-party help, please, by all means, get the help. So communicate. I'm a person of faith. I would say pray, and not that kind of prayer where they say report your husband to God. And you're just whining, and you're not really saying anything. And you're not doing your own part. Remember that it also takes 2 to tango. So if you can control the things that you can control, and stop shouting at your spouse to do their own, if everybody is doing their part. But I think communication is very critical. And then you be patient. Because you've said something today doesn't mean it's going to change today. It's taking weeks and maybe months to get to where we are today. So you need to be patient to let change take its course.
Very true. I think what you actually said about not being married to the same person is actually very true. And a lot of things people don't understand. Because people are like, oh, when we started, this is not how you were. Do you understand? Forgetting that factors have happened and a lot of things have gone by past 5 years. So now from your experience, would you say more people make it after 5 years or less people or more people break it?
Well, statistics say that over 20% of people get divorced and they don't really make it. And those who make it can be shaky. And there's a 65% of people where communication is broken down. So the marriage is not really marrying. Right? Yeah. But I do think that maybe statistics just really shows bad news, because I think bad news is good news.
It sells.
It sells a lot. So I want to believe that there are a lot of people who are not on social media, who are not on TVC, but are having good marriage because we've been able to power through. And I think we need to look for more of those stories and share more of those stories. I think it's really possible. I mean, I've been married almost 9 years now. And I've done it, and I'm doing it, and we're going to keep doing it.
Yes.
So yeah, I think it's really possible.
Okay, so now speaking about it being possible, now who would you say bears more of the burden? The truth of the issue is that a lot of times we see people from the past who say, oh, our parents' marriages lasted longer. A lot of people say no, it's because they didn't have social media, so we couldn't see how many marriages even broke in that time and all of that. Who would you say bears more of the burdens? Because you say, okay, fine, like the Bible says, learn from the older wives, from midwives and all of that. So would you say the woman has more responsibility to actually bear the marriage burdens, or would you say it should literally be an equal? After all, it's a partnership, right?
This table, I don't know if people are really going to like me, but from a faith perspective, I really, truly, fully believe that the man is the foundation and the head of the home.
Thank you.
And so he bears a lot of that responsibility if we're looking at Christ as the head of the church. And so whatever he pours into the marriage is how the marriage is really going to look. So I think it's an African mentality that puts the burden of, now wife, they keep house, so that's how I was with your father. I think it's not fair. So while they are partners, the man does bear a lot of it, and how he feeds his family is how the family will be nourished and flourish.
Very true. Well said. Thank you so much. Hopefully we'll definitely have you next week continuing the series. Thank you. Definitely look forward to that one.
Thank you so much.
Still so much to come right here on Wake Up Nigeria. Do not go anywhere, because we'll be right back.